Welcome to another episode of The Art of Leveraging by Asentiv. My name is Tiffanie Kellog, your hostess, and I'm super excited to be joined today by Nicole Carver of Carver Concierge. Welcome.
Welcome to you back to me. How's that? It's always fun to see people live.
I know. We're like, okay, what do we do next? How do we create the conversation? But so tell me a little bit about Carver Concierge.
Carver Concierge started almost 12 years ago. So I'm a military spouse. We ended up here in Tampa. My background was working as an executive assistant, both in state government and corporate realms. So when we moved here, I was like, okay, I didn't have the family background to help with my kids. Well, my husband was traveling. So it's like, how do I take all the skill sets and everything I've learned over the years and package it into something that I can do around everyone else's schedule that still fills me up? So that's kind of how Carver Concierge started. I started with those skill sets and quickly realized that it wasn't the business side of services that people were really looking for. They are, of course, but it wasn't what I was being asked for. We were being asked for things on the personal side, like, can you run these errands? Can you do this for me? I have this I haven't got to. I need to be available for the service providers. So from that, we grew into the more personal side of lifestyle management. My team has expanded. We've expanded into another market, and now we do all things on the personal assistant side for busy executives.
So what kind of things could that include?
That is everything. Everybody thinks we do fabulous and grand things, and occasionally we do. But for the most part, the things that we do for our clients is taking care of things that are on your list and are on mine that we just don't have time to get to. It could be Amazon returns. It could be scheduling doctor's appointments, all those annual eyes and dentists and dermatology checks that nobody gets to because they don't have time. We do that. We get the car serviced. We do travel for a lot of our clients may have other homes or they're traveling to, sometimes it's vacation travel or we liaison. We know the information. So we work with a travel agent to get their vacations planned. We do a lot of home project management oversight. So we have a full list of vetted service providers. So whether it's new flooring or new carpet, or you need to be on site for the dryer repair service, we take care of just all of those things. Occasionally we do fun things too.
Okay, so I'm just curious, what are some of the fun things too?
Well, let me see. Well, one recently, one of my concierge purchased a Ferrari for someone. So I guess that's considered fun, right? That's in the fun category by all means.
My husband would like that job. He's always talking about let me be a car buyer for somebody.
We just scheduled a private bourbon tour for another client. So we get to do some really fun things. We get to do research and we know a whole lot about a whole lot of everything.
Gotcha. What have you found to be some of the struggles as you're building and expanding over the past 12 years now?
Well, like any business owner that starts out in what they think is going to be small business capacity, and then you grow, it's wearing all the hats and quickly learning when you need to hand that hat off to somebody else. It's time to hire and grow and not waiting too long that you feel like you're totally burned out and underwater. I think that's always a struggle, right?
I think, yeah, that happens quite frequently.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your team. How, what does that look like? How many concierges do you have out there helping?
So we have anywhere between 6 and 8, depending on whether they're full-time or part-time here in the Tampa area. And then we have 2, and we're growing in the Nashville market. So yes, and our concierge are all seasoned professionals, I like to say. They've raised families. They've run homes, they've worked in the medical profession. Some of them have been teachers, they've worked in the corporate world. So we have a very well-rounded background that we bring to the table. There's no big learning curve. A lot of the things we're handling for our clients are things we've already done.
making those phone calls to schedule the appointments, picking up the refills, all that fun stuff.
Right, all of that.
So who do you find are like the sweet spot clients for you? The ones that you just love working with that are absolutely phenomenal?
Sure. We work with a lot of C-level executives. Female executives are great clients for us, although we work with a lot of male executives too. But it's usually that level of corporate executive that has now reached the space where they need to be fully focused when they walk in the office in the morning, or they're getting on a phone call and not have the mental load of everything else running around in their head and trying to figure out how they're going to get it all done because that's a distraction, right? So if you can clear that mental load out and know that when you walk in the door to work, you're focused on work, and when you leave home, those things have been taken care of. So that's really our sweet spot clientele.
And how do you get most of your clients?
Most of our clients are a word of mouth referral, or they find us through our website. Our services are becoming more and more well-known, not just Carver Concierge, but concierge in general.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people will be specifically looking for somebody to help in the capacity that we do.
And do most people, when they come to work with you, most people become a client of yours, are they one-off, like, hey, I need help with this, or is it more of a retainer or so many hours a month?
We've evolved over time. We used to do one-offs, and occasionally those fun projects will come up. Over COVID, we were asked to purchase 2 Publix cakes from here, fully frosted with buttercream frosting, and get them shipped to Colorado in time for a birthday. So they were deep froze and things like that. So those are always like those fun projects that we take on as like, yes, we can do this. But the vast majority of our clients are retainer clients. So they're either on a weekly retainer with us, or they're on what we call a rolling retainer package, where they have a number of hours to use as needed over a period of time.
Kind of like the Sun Pass, you just keep re-upping it and re-upping it.
That's exactly how it works. I like that. We'll have to use that.
I was trying to think of an analogy for some people.
Perfect. It is just like the Sun Pass. Just keep driving through and it keeps working for you.
Love it, love it. So you mentioned that you get a lot referrals and word of mouth. What professions do you find are able to refer you easily and often?
Well, I think all service providers. We don't really, there's nobody in particular, but a lot of our general contractors are a great referral source for us. One, because we are the liaison and we are fully available to that general contractor to answer the questions. So, and we've already communicated, or we communicate directly with the client. So it makes their flow of work go very smoothly. They're not waiting for the client to get out of work, or we have direct access that way. So general contractors love to work with us, but so do most all service providers. Landscapers, full service providers, anybody that has to wait on the client to be home and available. We also, a lot of financial advisors work with our same types of clientele, and they're usually a really good referral source for us as well.
Gotcha, gotcha. Where do you see the business going in the next 5 years?
Oh, we're growing. The industry is growing. The need for us is growing. People are understanding the need for their lifestyle, especially I think as women grow in business, they have to learn to delegate certain things in order to have the bandwidth and the capacity to do new things. So as that evolves and women aren't staying home, or women are working full-time and women are moving up the corporate ladder, they have to know how to utilize somebody like us. Most executives have somebody in their office that they're already working with. They know how that works. We're just on the personal side. It works the same way. So yeah, so we are continuing to grow here in the Nashville market. Been asked if I'll branch out into a couple other markets in the next couple of years. You never know what's coming. Yes.
But for now, we're at least good to say Tampa and Nashville, Carver Concierge can help, correct?
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned earlier, and before we even started the interview, that delegation is so important. And I'm wondering if you have at least one tip that you could share with our viewing audience for those that are struggling to delegate more.
I think trust in the person that you're delegating to get the end result. As long as you are clear in articulating what your end result is to somebody, they can pretty much get it across the finish line. But if you can't clearly say, at the end, I want it to look exactly like X, Y, and Z, you're not setting that person up to successfully help you. And they may not do the process just like you will, but as long as the end result is what you're looking for, that's really where you just need to let it go and let it be. Right?
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard. Like, I can do better than anyone else, but can you do everything better than everyone else the entire time?
But I think the holdup for a lot of people is that they don't articulate exactly what the full expectation is, and then it's not successful for anyone.
That does make sense. I had a gentleman I knew, and he hired an assistant, and I think it was on both parts. It wasn't that it was one or the other, it was both of them, and just that lack of clear communication on exactly what they were looking for.
It is. It's just like your spouse. You can't expect him to read your mind.
And I don't think we want anyone to read our minds sometimes.
That's right. Don't be getting in there. It's a crazy place to be.
So what do you feel sets Carver apart? Not the better or worse or any of that, but like what's kind of do you feel is your niche or what sets you apart from your competition?
I think what sets us apart is the seasoned professional team that we have. Like I said in the beginning, we bring a lot of skill sets and a lot of experience to the table. So our learning curve is really minimal. We are ready to hit the ground running with our client. We get to know them. We build relationships with them, long-term relationships with our clients. And that just makes it easy because once you trust somebody both ways that you're working together, we're off and running. There's nothing that we can't do for our clients. But it does lead back to the fact that we've all done a lot of the things that we're being asked to do.
It does make a difference when you've got that skill set and then we don't have to worry. It's like, yes, I've done this before in my life.
Absolutely. And we have a really great team. We support each other even across the lines. Our Nashville team is supported by Tampa and our Tampa team is supported by Nashville. So we know everybody's really strong suits. And so if it's something that I'm lacking in, I know I have another team member that I can lean into to help me get that across the finish line a whole lot quicker.
Makes sense. Now, if people are wanting to learn more about Carver Concierge, where can we go to do that? And y'all, I will put this in the description below too.
That's great. Well, you can always find us on the website, and that's carverconcierge.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn at Nicole Carver. Let me know you heard me on here, and ask me how I can help you delegate better.
Love it. Love it. So we've talked a lot about work, though part of the goal to me is when we delegate some of this stuff, we get to have more fun. So what do you like to do for fun?
I love reading. I have 3 dogs, so sitting by the pool with my dogs is fun. And of course, traveling. We're headed to Europe this summer for 10 days, so I can't wait.
Oh, nice. Where are you headed to in Europe?
We are going to do Prague and then circle back around to Germany. We lived there for 5 years. We were stationed overseas, so we are going to go back and visit some of the places where we lived.
Oh, interesting. All right, and tell me about your dogs.
We have 3. They're all rescues. So we have a lab, we have a Chiweenie, and then we have an American bully. So I have a small, medium, and large. They are spoiled, rotten, and rule the roost. Anybody who knows me or follows me on my personal social media will usually see them lounging by the pool. Yeah, they have no problem taking up a lounge chair.
Especially with 3, one that's small, medium, and large. I love that.
I have 3 kids, so why not 3 dogs?
Sounds like a plan. Now, what are you typically reading, or is it an array of options?
It's an array. I like to read anything. I'm always consuming information, whether it's a business book or some really good summer beach reads for this time of year. Can't complain about those, right?
So can you give us one of your favorite biz books and one of your favorite beach reads?
Profit First is always the best business book that anybody who's starting should read right out of the gate. It sets you up for success right there. I'm also reading We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. It's a whole mindset shift. Don't think small. Those are both really good ones.
So I'm interested because you mentioned Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. Have you read his book Clockwork?
I have, yes.
Okay. I was just thinking when you mentioned Profit First, I was thinking about Mike and I'm like, oh yeah, because they talk quite a bit about delegating and the Clockwork, because if you can't do it all, so don't try.
No, absolutely. And I think those are great books for somebody either coming in or somebody, those are those that you go back to and you pick up time after time and revisit them and take away great nuggets.
Yeah. And what's a beach read that's a classic or a favorite for you?
I go back to some of the old classics. I just read Siddhartha, so that was one that I had read in English class. I read that one again. You know, those.
Did you find it better that you read it now that you're kind of an adult and
absolutely
kid?
Yeah, I wasn't forced to read it for one, and you really see it through different eyes and a different perspective. So some of those are always fun to go back and pick up things that you had to read.
And then find, oh, it was actually better than I remember, but we were forced.
Absolutely, right? That's how we always feel about anything we're asked to do, right?
That's a good point.
Idea is a better idea.
So one last question I want to ask. What do you have coming up? Exciting news? What's going on?
Oh, well, I have a new personal brand that I'm going to be launching this year. So there'll be a podcast coming out in the fall. So there'll be more to follow on that, but it'll be called Let's Chat Lifestyle and Keeping It Real with Nicole Carver. So it's going to be kind of pulling the curtain back and talking about all the things I've learned and all the things other businesswomen have learned over their years. So it'll be a full table of wisdom.
Love it. Love it. Well, be sure to check back once it goes live. Do me a favor. Let me know with the link and I'll put it in this description. So anybody that listens to it the fall or beyond can find it right here for us.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will.
Thank you so very much for your time, Nicole. It's been a pleasure having you as we talk a little bit about the art of leveraging. And I have a feeling there's a lot more leveraging that you can help our viewers do.
Well, we sure hope so. And thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Happy networking, y'all.